Hello Palians and welcome back. If you missed out on Froggate, you may currently be struggling to get your hands on lots of essence in the Elderwood, but today I'm going to share with you some of the best ways to get your hands on essence quickly and kind of give you some hints and tips as well. So hopefully after this video you will be ready to go on a shopping spree at Sabura store and get all of those new things. If you want more Palia content, don't forget to like and also subscribe, but let's get into this. First things first, what is infected essence? If you are a new player or a returning player to Palia, you may be a little bit confused by this, but infected essence plays a big part in the lore that relates to the Elderwood, and it is essentially a material that is spreading throughout the Elderwood Map area, and it is infecting the flora and fauna that live and grow there. When you first enter the Elderwood, you will not be able to collect the infected essence. In order to be able to start gathering it, you will need to get to part 4 of the Nature of the Shadows questline, which is triggered by speaking to Sabura. This quest will only show if you have got to the relevant place in the main story. This means that you will have had to complete the previous quests that relate to the temples. However, do not worry, you do not need to have fully completed all of the bundles that go alongside that. If you have not yet done these quests, but you play with friends, you can actually begin collecting essence if you are a member of a party where the player has done the relevant quests, so you can get a little stockpiled in the future. It is worth noting that you won't be able to go on a shopping spree in Sabura's shop because you do need to unlock this as part of that main quest. So although you can start saving it and collecting it, you won't really be able to spend it at the moment. Before we get into the best actual farming methods, I think there are a few things that you should know about essence. As I said earlier, infected essence has spread to the flora and fauna. This means that you'll be able to collect it from special fish pools that look like this, forageable items that kind of look like this. Infected bugs will also have this purple glow around them, and creatures appear like this. Ogapus literally look like they have been dunked in a vat of oil. Of course, there are also ancient trees, and these are some of my favorite looking things. They look very mystical and have all of that infected essence coming from the ground upwards. You can also collect the essence from these droplets that are scattered around the map. These generally only give you a low level of essence. They normally drop around 2 to 3, but if you are using a dowsing rod to track rare forageables, essence droplets that are over 5 will appear on your compass. So if you're out and about kind of wanting to find some elderflowers and things, these will also pop up on your compass, so it's nice to bear in mind and maybe just pick them up. It might make it easier to kind of find what you're looking for. For obvious reasons, this probably isn't the best way to farm essence, but if you do see droplets, they are kind of worth grabbing as it just takes a couple seconds to pick them up. If you are playing on PC, you can actually cancel the pickup animation by jumping as you pick them up, which again makes collection that little bit quicker. I'm not sure if this method does work on Switch or console, as I haven't really tried it. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't, but if someone would let me know in the comments if it does, just to help out your fellow players. Another thing that might be worth knowing about infected essence has to do with your storage and inventory. When in your inventory, infected essence stacks up to 999, which is nice, but when it comes to then putting that in your storage, you also don't have to panic because it doesn't count towards your overall storage limit, so it acts in a similar way to furniture does. So you don't need to worry, you can have absolutely thousands in there and it won't affect anything. When it comes to finding it in your storage, this is something that I often always forget, but you can find it under the food tab and you can search for it. It has to have infected first of all, but it will show up if you do it that way. It's just something that might just be worth knowing because I always panic when I cannot find it. In addition to farming essence, there are some accomplishments and quests that also grant you essence too. For example, the Something Wicked questline will award you 500 essence for completion. Although the numbers aren't too high, these are generally tasks that you'll likely be doing anyways within the Elderwood, so they are a nice little bonus. Relics can also help boost the amount of essence you can earn. If you purchase the recipe for the Bright Eye Amulet from the artifact store and then equip it, you will see a boost when collecting essence. The higher the level of the amulet, the higher boost you will receive. If you're in a party, it is worth double checking which relics are equipped so everyone gets the relevant boosts. You can't actually use the Bright Eye Amulet by yourself unless you have the relevant ammo. So it's worth remembering that you won't be able to have the Bright bright eye amulet equipped and then go and chop trees. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You have to have one or the other. I know some people do prefer to play solo, but if you are also playing with friends, you will have the opportunity to receive double essence through the loot perks that come with the party bonus. So there is a couple good reasons why you should definitely be partying up to collect the essence. And the final thing you should know, if you haven't figured it out already, is that generally the rarer the item, the higher level of infected essence you will receive from that particular drop. So if you do see a rare item when you're out and about that is infected, definitely make an effort to try and pick it up. After playing on the Elderwood map for a little while now, I definitely have some key go-to spots for farming essence. These are the Matana Grove area and also the bog, which spreads from Movis Way down to Demur Dock. My main reason for preferring these spots is that they are the most open, so your eye can kind of span a lot further afield than, for example, within the deep woods, where you kind of have to factor in the large climbable trees, and there's quite a few hills here that do make it difficult kind of terrain to get around. These areas also do have a variety of things to farm, meaning you can collect all of the infected things you see. It's got trees here, which they are kind of more on one side than the other, but you'll also get bugs. You also have the creatures, of course. The cave system is obviously not all that ideal, as it's tight spaces and very limited as to what can spawn there. You're not going to find ogapus here, you're not going to find fish here, obviously, and it just makes it a little bit difficult to navigate. We all know the cave system is like a twisty-turny nightmare. So with that out of the way, it's now time to talk about the best methods to actually farm the essence. The most obvious method to farm essence is just to collect every single thing that you see that is infected. This is pretty kind of self-explanatory. I do recommend that if you have the highest level bag of illusion relic, that this is the one that you equip, as it will make it so much easier and you will not have to spend essence crafting the relevant ammo. It kind of would get you in that kind of vicious cycle where you're collecting essence and then you're having to spend it again on the ammo. So definitely kind of prioritize getting that bag of illusion crafted. But in all honesty, this isn't the most effective way, and I do find that my pockets fill very quickly if I'm doing this, because you're just kind of grabbing everything and nothing's really going to stack all that well. I would, however, say that if you're in the Elderwood, maybe doing another activity like hunting, and you do come across, like, for example, a rare infected thing, like a mushroom perhaps, the Elderwood clan mushrooms do tend to give you quite high levels of infected essence, then you do pick them up, as they will soon add up. One of the easiest ways to farm essence solo is by chopping trees. For this method, my favorite spot is Matana Grove, and kind of head down towards Honeymill Slope. There are lots of ancient trees here. It is really highly populated. As infected trees work in a similar fashion to flow trees, all you really need to do for this method is just chop down the uninfected trees, and then when they respawn, there is going to be a chance that they will reappear as an infected tree. As you can see, I chopped a few trees and managed to earn 200 essence with maybe sort of 15 minutes work, so it's not too bad if you are solo. In this area, you can also kind of find other things as well. You will find forageable items, but it is also worth saying that you will get Mujin spawns in this area, and these can also become infected. So if you are super quick, you can kind of chop and then hunt. This method obviously does well better in a party, so if you are smart, you could have one of you chopping the tree and then the others hunting the Mujin. We did a server takeover kind of testing this method on stream. However, I think there were just a few too many of us, which caused issues with everyone getting loot. But definitely, if you have a smaller group, this method is very effective. However, the most effective and my preferred way of gathering essence is by using honey laws to capture the dragger beetles. There are a few spots you can do this. There is a spot in Mayvey Way on the top of the Little Cliff Islands here, but my favorite spot is the area which is close to D6/C6. It's right on the kind of line there. Here in this spot, there are two cliffs that are in close proximity, and although they are in close proximity, you can actually have two honey laws going simultaneously, and it works perfectly if you're in a party, as you can split up and then one of you can check for infected essence on one side and then the other one on the opposite area, and then when your honey laws kind of run out, you just run over and you grab everything. It is worth noting that you may need to run around a bit to scare the non-infected beetles, or you can catch them, but I do find that just running around and scaring them works fine. They don't sell for a whole lot of money, so you're not missing out on too much. You may also find some frog spawn here too. There isn't like a high density of frog spawns, but they are nice, and I have got myself a couple frog plushies from here and doing this method, so it definitely works for that as well. It's like a cheeky little bonus. There is no specific time or day that you need to do this, as they spawn at any time of the day, and as they are an uncommon bug, the infected essence you receive does add up pretty quickly. We did this for approximately 40 minutes during stream, and running 2 of these honey laws at a time, I managed to collect over 3,000 essence, which is pretty dang good. Obviously, this is quite repetitive and it does cost quite a lot for like the cost of the honey laws, but if you have some friends and you all kind of bring a few, then it works out quite nicely. And in my opinion, I think a lot of people's opinions, this is the fastest and most effective way to get essence in the game currently. So there we have it. There are some hints and tips for collecting essence. Let me know in the comments if you have anything else you would like to share with the community members that might help them out. If you watched until the end, please leave this emoji in the comments. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.